Greetings, YouTubers. Thanks for coming back. Today we're going to do a little display room update video. It's not complete, but I've gotten things to a point where I can start showing some of the stuff and showing the progress. They're in complete enough shape to at least start that. So let's get started with it. So what you're looking at is I finally was able to get my desk, my little mini desk, where I would be at most of the time doing videos like these or watching these or participating in any online chats or things like that, or podcasts where people are showing collections and so forth. I guess I'll just recap a little bit of this. What was that? Up top, the ceiling is my Power of the Force figures as I've had them in a previous video. And I wanted to just clarify something I said in the previous video, that they're in order. And they are. They're in order of release by wave. Luke started the wave in May of '95. And these are in the order in their cases which they were released by wave, up until Boba Fett was the last figure from '95. Then Yoda took over in early '96, and we went all the way through '96 into Shadows of the Empire, Hi Vader, we'll talk to you in a second. And then we ended up finalizing out '96 up until R5D4. Then Bosk took over from the second wave of figures in '97 when they started doing the green cards. Foils and non-foils seem to both have .00 production numbers, but that's another thing. It's just, I'm not too worried about that, but it is what it is. And they just continued around. '97 was a big, long release all the way down to the ceremonial Luke up there. That was the end of the first wave from '95, or the first two waves from '95 to '97, and then they started the next wave in '98, starting with figures like Biggs up there and the revealed Vader. And the new redone Luke and the Wicket and Leia 2-pack, which you could only get her that way at that point. But like I said before, I kind of fell out of it a little bit in '98, got tired of the whole game of it, and some of the figures just weren't all that interesting, to be honest with you. I mean, they pretty much covered all the bases in the first two waves. But then the Phantom Menace came out, fever hit, and I got my first group of figures in Phantom Menace, and that's as far as I went, because again, the figures just weren't all that interesting other than some of the core ones. And then it just ends up giving me a gap here, which I think I made the decision I'm just going to find the last couple Phantom Menace figures that I think are kind of cool and just fill them out, just to continue to close the ring of figures. All right, that being said, I just wanted to cover that. So welcoming back to my room. So first thing I wanted to just kind of get out of the way was this nice guy is finally back up and running. I had him disconnected for a while because I just didn't want to be dealing with that. It's the arcade 1-up anniversary or legacy Pac-Man edition. So it's got pretty much all the Pac-Mans except for Miss Pac-Man, which that's a different upright. But Pac-Man, all the rest of the Pac-Mans, Galaga 1 or Galaga and Galaxian, Dig Dug 1 and 2, and two other games that I wasn't really too familiar with. But I play the snot out of Pac-Man and Galaga, Galaxian, and Dig Dug. So these get done on a regular basis. So I just leave him on, and he just kind of gives me that, hey, I'm in the arcade feel. So, all right, let's get into it. The last time you saw my figure, my room that I showed you at all, I'm going to scan past real quick. There was glass cases up against this wall, and now there are none. There's something below this, which I'll get to in a minute. So I got everything moved over, and one second. Yeah, that's fine. That works fine. And I'm just going to go with the cases here. So I've got them in my order. I'm going to start with my lightsaber case, my lightsaber stack here. I'm not going to get into too much details about them because I'm going to be doing one-on-one videos of all of these things over the course of time, so we'll get into all of that. I know I've done a few with the Stormtroopers, but I'll probably revisit them because there's other things coming. So let's just go to a quick rundown. Up top, this is my current Sith collection, if you want to say. And then, by the way, everything in this cabinet except for one saber, which I'll show you in a minute, is all master replicas. So with that being said, got master replicas Darth Maul up at the top, and right below that, the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader, and on top of that, the little mini 45 scale Attack of the Clones Anakin Skywalker, shaped very much like Vader. So I just felt that it fit to go along with putting him on top of there, even though he wasn't quite Sith at the time. It is what it is. So actually what I'm going to do real quick, hang on, this thing's kind of heavy. I'm going to open him up so we don't get the glare. This will be better. So going from that and then working our way down. In here on the top to start with is my 1996 Icons Skywalker saber. Just a real quick note about it. I just recently found it on eBay. A user on eBay who was selling it at, I couldn't almost not pay him how low of a price he was selling it for. But we, came to an arrangement and agreement that he just needed to sell it, and it's got a loving home, and if I ever decide to sell it, I'll hit him up first. But this was a holy grail piece I've been searching for 25 years and finally have one in pristine order, and it is a very cool piece. More on that when I pull it out to look at it. Below that is my Master Replicas Empire Strikes Back Luke, which was the second Master Replicas saber that I think I got. Yeah, I think it was the second one. So it goes good with the Luke, Anakin inherited Luke design saber, and that's pretty much all I need for that. Below that is my Kenobi line of sabers. Again, all master replicas. At the top is the Attack of the Clones Episode 2 saber, and the mini version of it right above it. Right below that is the weathered Episode 4 Kenobi saber, which is probably, arguably, one of my favorite sabers. The thing is just a monster, and it feels nice and heavy and is a beast. And down at the bottom, I've got my hero Luke Return of the Jedi saber and its 45th scale equivalent on top, and the storybook Return of the Jedi booklet in the back, just to give a good backdrop. This is the only Jedi saber that I have right now. I am definitely looking for a version 2 Luke saber to pair with this. Hopefully I'll find one soon. That may be another update. And then finishing it at the bottom, again, more details on these things as I get around to doing them, but is my Black Series Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot helmet, which I had completed a complete repaint, accurate A New Hope repaint on it. Really cool piece. And it fits well, with the Luke idea. So there's that. And again, more details on these when I pull them out. So let's get to the next one. Careful with this is kind of clunky sometimes. This is my, I don't know if I can get it to stay open. Come on. Oh, I'll just do this. All right, so this is my Fett Row, and I'll just start at the top. There's a smattering of just these Epic Force figures at the top just for somewhere to put them, because eventually I'm going to be placing, whenever they do another run of them, an RS Prop Masters a special edition Fett. Definitely going to snag one this time. I missed out on the first run, but won't miss out on the second one. Below that is my EFX Fett, which is a wonderful piece. I had done some paint enhancements to it, not a complete repaint. It was pretty good on its own, but there was just some, I don't know how to put it, some subtle differences, some subtle omissions that were made to the paint job that I don't know how or why they would have not included them. Excuse me. So using templates from Dented Helmet sources and just painstakingly going over the 4K shots of the helmet to corroborate those stencils and some other things. Little things like the little slashes on the top of that glob and above the arrows, little white or silver check marks around the area, enhancing the carbon scoring around the helmet dent, and the little band around the visor here, the weathered seal to make it look like it was sealed all in one piece. The hazed tape line below the kill stripes, etc., etc. Things like that were needed done, and it made a big difference on what we know subtly to be the look of it. And when those things are missing, there's just something wrong with it. But when you get them in there, then it all just fits. Great piece. More details on that when I get that out. Below that is my Black Series Fett, which I did a complete ground-up repaint into Return of the Jedi, because I already had the EFX Fett, which was my Empire paint job. And even though these two were initially the master patterns that they used to make these were sourced from the same screen-used helmet through different means, the Black Series is a bit idealized and not quite as accurate. So I didn't feel bad about really repainting it. So from the ground up, just gave it a complete new paint job in Return of the Jedi. Again, using stencils and resources from the Dented Helmet, which were invaluable, and it turned out really, really, really good. I mean, there's a couple of things about it that, again, details when I get them out, but things could have been placed a little bit more accurately. But, first time going through it, wasn't quite familiar with the dome here and there, but I'm not unhappy with it at all. Now I'm going to grab a chair here real quick. I don't want to have to squat if I don't have to. Down here, I will spend a second talking about this piece. Again, details when I do a showcase on it. The Dawn Post Deluxe Boba Fett helmet. Like the Icon Saber, this was a holy grail piece that I had been searching for 25 plus years. When these things first came out, they represented the pinnacle of high-end Star Wars collectibles, and to even consider that there was even this accurate of a Boba Fett helmet out there and available in fiberglass, and that was sourced or they used resources from the original to make this one, was as close as we were getting. And knowing that much of the lineage at all, and only what we knew of accurate Fett design back then, it was mind-boggling to even think about having one of these. But the price range was not in in a lot of people's wallets, including my own. So found this last year again on eBay. Somebody close by selling it, and just trying to make ends meet, and just selling it for way less than they should have. But it is what it is, and I was fortunate enough to snag this. A holy grail piece, and we'll talk way more about that when I get this out on another video. Then down here at the bottom is the original Dawn Post standard helmet, which I've had since '95. And again, for what it was, when it was a cool piece. It's definitely very toy looking in comparison to things now. But it had last year when I was getting these things out and trying to just assess the status of certain pieces, this thing broke. The entire left side face cheek area literally just broke off like one big puzzle piece. So I had to fix him, glue him back together, and did a complete sand down and repaint from the ground up, and tried to paint him as close to the spirit of the way that these were painted back then. I mean, I have pictures of mine the way it was beforehand. It was hard to see some of the original paint job because I tried doing my own paint to it years ago and crossed over on some of the original paint, and I couldn't remember what was what. So, referencing other people's pictures on the internet and trying to get an amalgamation of that, and painted it back up in the best spirit I could with what I had. Not trying to make it perfect. Wanted it to look like it was painted the way they painted it. Pretty, just slapped some of the paint on and just went through it, but it turned out surprisingly well. Got a brand new visor for it. Cut out the visor area, fitted it in. It almost turned out to be somewhat respectable. But when you closer inspection, especially when you put it even up to the deluxe, I mean, just doing this view from this view, you can completely see their differences. So that's what we have there. More on that when this arrives. He wants to shut, so I'm going to go ahead and shut him because something with the angle on the floor, I suppose. So getting to the next counter here. This is my high-end row here because it contains mostly, when they got, I'll get to that in a second. It's going to be mostly RS pieces. For right now, at the top is my EFX New Hope Vader, the PCR version, which I had done a complete from the ground up repaint by hand physically with the correct colored gunmetal and black, and using again stencils from the Sith Lord Detachment website, and just researching on the movie on the 4Ks and a lot of documentation out there available. Came up with what I think is a respectable weathering and paint job for it for A New Hope. Added some little physical dents and things like that, and again, detail when I start doing one-ups on these. But he is at the top right now because he's too big for anything else. But something's going to replace him shortly. I just want it to be a surprise, so I'm not really saying what it is, but it's something very similar to him by somebody who has made other pieces that I have. So that's all I'm saying. So let's move down here. So right here is the open space, and I just have my signed Jeremy Bullock Fett picture there just to keep the space busy until the RS Prop Masters 10th anniversary Stunt Trooper green plastic helmet arrives, which I am just salivating at getting a hold of. So I'll put him somewhere when that time comes. Below that, done videos on him. RS Prop Master Sand Trooper, stunning piece. I just like looking at it. I just want to hold it with me while I watch A New Hope all the time. Down here is RS Prop Masters Stunt Empire helmet. Again, just staggeringly awesome piece. When you see them on screen and you look at this, you get it. And then down here, again, I've done some detail on this on another video. My Black Series Rogue One Stormtrooper helmet, which I did a complete, almost rebuild and repaint from the ground up into what it is now, which is the Imperial Labor Camp Guard paint job from Rogue One. I may revisit these, even though I did some videos on these comparing them to other things and themselves. I may one-on-one them at some point, especially when that comes. So, yeah, so that's that. Over here is the lighting is kind of making this kind of go off a little bit, but I don't know if you can see it too well. But this is the Black Series Vader helmet, which I did, again, a complete repaint job. It's a screen accurate as well, as best as the thing was taking it. Replaced the visors with some red visors. Let me see if I can get him to get a better look if I turn him in to the light a little. He's a little shadowed, but that's all right. Inherently, there are just things about this Vader that are flawed, baked into the shape that just nothing is going to really fix. So you just make him look as good as he can, and he turned out pretty good. May or may not give him a one-on-one, but in the exploded display where it's because it's a reveal helmet, he looks surprisingly good. I mean, because you don't have everything put together to see it all in one piece and see how really inaccurate it actually is. But when you have it apart and you see all the display pieces, it actually looks pretty cool. But I'm not sure if I have room in here for that. That's going to be a big stand to display that in. But again, more on these later. And then down here, let me get this out of the way, which I don't really need to get too much detail, is my original Don Post 1995 Vader, which is, I got that when I got the FET. And except for clipping the peak off of the point off the Widow's Peak to try and make it look more like Jedi or Empire, it's untouched. It's in its original form. Just little silver stickers on the tusks that never even had tusks at the end of it. Amazing. Nostalgic sake, just because it was just there. But once this Vader and another Vader might be coming, come up here, I'm going to have to find homes for these two because I'm going to have to ship things over. That's just going to have to be the way it is. So with that, that's my current situation with the glass cases and helmet storage. The glass case here, there's 2 shells that are missing because they had broken over time, so I need to get more glass made to put things in there when I get them. Probably the next thing I'm going to show you once I make room up there. Over here, like I said, with my Phantom Menace situation, some of the collectibles were really super cool, and I can't really get too low down there, I don't think. But you see Darth Maul down there. This was the Applause collectibles line of 14-inch mega figures, and they were astounding, and they still are. And I got all 3 of them when they came out, and they were selling them like once a week. I ran from work to JCPenney to buy them. I wasn't missing out on these. These were just amazing. So I'm going to either put them in the glass case, or I might find like a shelving area up here, maybe put them side by side in an order or something. But again, Phantom Menace collectibles, that is kind of like the pinnacle. I mean, I got my figures up top. Another thing here I'm going to show you in a second. And that's pretty much my Phantom Menace collection. I don't really have too much stuff. A few figure set things down in my basement in tote boxes with my original figures, but nothing really of a collectible nature to put in a collector's room. So a little bit closer look at my book section. Pretty much all Star Wars and sci-fi stuff as we get into things, and more esoteric reading, space stuff, and Star Trek things, and some new agey type stuff, and occasionally just interesting reading. These books here, I'll go through. I'm not going to really go through them right now, but these 3 in the end, I really found to be interesting. They're complete dictionary of all of the original Topps trading cards from each film. The entire book, all series, fronts and backs of them, information on them. Astounding books, really cool. And up here, a little CD case with all the soundtracks and the The box set there of the original anthology was discontinued. A couple select soundtracks, non-Star Wars at the bottom. But this is one of the other Phantom Menace collectibles I wanted to look at. This was, I think it was either MPC or Ertl, one of the model companies. It is a complete die-cast, pre-painted Naboo fighter. You basically just screwed it together, and I had painted the R2 and the pilot and the cockpit on the inside and put the decals on. But everything else was as is. The metal, the stainless metal, and the yellow colored paint, and the black stand. It's just super cool. I think that's probably one of my favorite designs, my favorite ships from the prequels, especially the Phantom Menace, is the Naboo fighter. And this was just a scale model, accurate scale model, and just made out of shiny metal, and it's got a heft to it, and just a very cool look. I mean, the metal's a little oxidized, and I'm gonna have to clean that up. But that, when it was first out of the box, that thing was shiny, so I'll probably have to clean that up. And that's pretty much it for my collectible stuff. I've got down there, wedged between there, I've got the box of the 4 Ninja Turtles from Sci-Fi Con in California or something from a couple years ago. These were the versions that they modeled after the arcade game, and you could only get them at the convention. eBay to the rescue, and not too bad of a price, and I found the collection. Then over here is just all my leftover DVDs that I'm going to be putting into storage, of things that I don't have Blu-rays of, or things that I don't want to get rid of, especially box sets of TV shows. I mean, yeah, people stream them, but you know how they go, and they come and go, and you're left hosed with a show you've been watching. But thankfully, I've got the DVDs of all of that kind of stuff. And then just a couple things back there real quick. Some items that will be hanging up on this wall, which I'm going to introduce you to now. This is going to be my sword wall. I've got a couple swords that will get put up here, which I'll hang across this wall, and they won't come down too far, so that I can get another shelving unit or whatever to hang or put more Star Wars stuff on. But these swords will get up there in some way. That being said, I'm coming down to these last two things, and these are just really, really cool, and we'll get to both of them here. I will be doing one-on-ones of them in detail like my other things, but just a brief synopsis. Black Series Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder, which I completely repainted, weathered the snot out of, and complete redone, repainted canopy and cockpit, engine compartment, paneling designs, all of that stuff. And it took me 3 boxes of that, I'm going to get to that in a second, of the next thing, 3 boxes of the next thing to accomplish what I'm looking at. I kind of just talked in front of myself. That was weird. Is my non-Star Wars item here that I just wanted to display because I just recently got it finished. My 148 scale F-15 model Starscream conversion, G1 Transformer Starscream conversion. So went to great lengths of fabricating plastic pieces to make him look correct to the show. Coloring the canopy was part of why there's boxes over there. Fabricating his laser gun pods, and his transformed leg assembly underneath the fuselage, which we'll get to in more detail as well. And building a custom stand to put them on, kind of evoking that late 80s motif, but also hearkening to one of the notable scenes in the animated series movie where he was chasing Autobots down the corridor of the Autobot city, and explosion at the end as he shot his foot off to escape in flight, even though he's in jet mode here. but it's just getting the point across, and I think it works pretty well. And an automotive silver badge sticker for a Decepticon sticker. I found in an automotive store where they had other stickers like Batman and Superman, and I found a Decepticon one, nice and shiny chrome, and it looks perfect right where it's at. And so again, we'll get more one-on-one details with this when I get around to it. So that's it for now. I just wanted to clock in if I could that yeah, you can see what kind of sword might be going up back there. Yeah, and just last thing is some of these boxes and are boxes of books and things are going down in storage as well, so they're just there for now. So this is the room as it is, and there will be more places for shelves up on the walls here, I'm sure, and some shelving here, and some stuff. Oh, and one last thing, this shiny reflective thing right here. One of my other absolute favorite Phantom Menace collectibles, which I don't know what I'm going to do with them right now, but it is a collection of full-size original lithographs from Doug Chiang from the production of the Phantom Menace, the original artwork of a lot of things, and they are just stunning pieces. And I don't know if I'm going to break them out of that container to get them framed or just leave them safe and secure in that container, but they are amazing. And the container is just very cool, super shiny, supposed to be reminiscent of like the shiny Naboo ships on Phantom Menace, so I hear. Just very cool piece, and I'm hoping to do something with it. So that's it for now, and thanks for stopping by. Have a good evening. Bye.